Hello, friends! So, I had this sketchbook for a long time now, and lately I've really been itching to finish it and start a new chapter. So, I decided to challenge myself to complete it before summer vacation. I kicked off this challenge on July 21st and wrapped it up on August the 12th, which means it took me 22 days in total. But honestly, there were days where I could not draw at all, and other days where nothing I did felt right. So, let's say I finished this sketchbook in about 10 sessions. So, I started this challenge by revisiting an old OC I created a few years ago for a One Piece themed RPG. I can't recall what I named her back then, but she was an aspiring pirate who used music to fight, and I hoped she would eventually gain the Gura Gura no Mi, White Bear's Devil Fruit, so she could combine music and earthquakes. However, since I wanted to create a unique universe for her, I decided to change a few things. First, I altered their power. I was torn between giving her ability to bring her drawings to life or to control plants. Maybe the sketch influenced me because I decided to give her plant powers and tried to create a theme outfit. Later, I realized I had far more story ideas if the character could bring her drawings to life. So the next day, I completely changed directions, tweaking her appearance and placing her in a new context, trying to design an outfit with features that could be repeated across other characters for consistency. I decided to name her Gala, borrowing the name from Salvador Dali's wife, to keep the art theme while also choosing a name that's easy to remember. Gala is the youngest in the group. She's 18 years old. She's a cheerful girl who loves food, even getting into trouble to get some. She's stubborn, but will do anything for the people she loves. Gala and the other girls were kidnapped as children by pirates who attacked their island and took all the non-powered people they found. One day, aboard the ship, Gala sneaks into the captain's cabin because she smelled chocolate. When she returns to her two friends, whom she met on the ship, she offers them the chocolates, but she didn't know that they contained a mysterious liquid that grants them power. Gala later discovers that her drawings come to life. After getting into serious trouble for being found, she and her two friends are forced to flee the ship and take refuge on a nearby island, where they live in an orphanage until they come of age. Determined to take revenge on the pirates who kidnapped them and forced them to live in hiding and far from home, they embark on a new journey. On the fourth day, I recreated the second girl, keeping her original name, Cora. Initially, she was blonde, but I decided she should look similar to the protagonist, so they would appear to come from the same island. I also decided that she and her third girl would be sisters. Cora is a year older than Gala, so she's 19. After eating the chocolate, she gained the ability to see the future, which shaped her personality, making her quiet and slightly apathetic. She rarely gets surprised, since she likely already saw it with her power. She's the most feminine of the group and isn't afraid to show off her body. In times of trouble, she uses martial arts to defend herself. She enjoys cooking and, after leaving the orphanage, worked in a tavern. Going off topic for a while, I started this page while I was waiting for my turn at the doctor's office. During the week, it was the only thing I managed to draw because I was really busy. On the sixth day, I worked on the third girl of the trio, naming her Kala. I modeled her appearance after a YouTuber I like, named Lean Beef Patty. Kala gained incredible strength after eating the chocolate, and it was difficult for her to hide her powers. She is the oldest of the group at 21, and after leaving the orphanage, secretly built a ship using the carpentry skills she acquired through self-study. Whenever she spoke to someone about her dream of building ships, she was mocked, especially by the men of the island, who said a girl could never do it. Kala developed a certain resentment towards men and struggles to trust them. She is a bit of a hothead and very stubborn, but thanks to her, our heroines will manage to set sail and start their adventure. On the day I worked on Kala, I had a lot of creative energy and continued by drawing a sunflower next to the page dedicated to my father's garden, thinking it was a fitting subject. I used a photo from Pinterest as a reference and applied the same technique I used last time I did urban sketching, using a Tombow gray pen for the line art. I really like the subtle definition this pen gives. Once finished, I still felt like drawing and realized it had been a while since I drew animals. So I searched for just animals on Pinterest and started drawing the ones that caught my eye. In the end, I mostly drew birds, but I'm very pleased with how they turned out. And I think many of them will become stickers in the future. was particularly fascinated by the blue-footed booby, even though at first I didn't realize it was real. But apparently, it lives in the Galapagos and it's quite stylish. On the seventh day, I just finished watching the latest season of The Boys and wanted to draw something for the series. So I started drawing Kimiko and Frenchie. However, finding reference images was really tedious. 90% of the photos I found were behind the scenes shot, where the actors were flipping off the camera. This probably killed my vibes and made it really hard to continue that day. At one point, I thought I was starting to burn out a little, but then I decided to switch subjects for the other page and began drawing a cute duck. The next morning, inspiration struck, and I decided that in the afternoon after work, I would draw a ship infected with Compound V. Stay on theme with the boys, but avoiding the countless middle fingers I would have encountered if I had tried to draw more portraits. In the end, I'm glad I changed my approach because I liked that part of the spread much more. I even managed to draw a murderous kitten that I couldn't get right the day before. During this period, I watched 2 or 3 episodes of Attack on Titan each evening. I really loved this anime, and it quickly climbed my rankings to become one of my favorites. I decided I would draw my favorite characters, some of whom are sadly no longer alive. Unfortunately, I couldn't find reference images showing their entire face for some of them, so I misjudged the space for the heads, which led to a squared look, especially with Armin. But I'm still pleased with the result. From the very first episode, I was fascinated by the drawings and the way cross-hatching was used to emphasize expression and shadows. One of the reasons I did this spread was to try to recreate their cross-hatching techniques, which I ended up really enjoying and will likely incorporate into my future drawings. I'd also like to highlight how great the portrait of Levi turned out. It's the first time one of my drawings has had this effect on me. I couldn't stop looking at it because it was so good. He was so handsome. I was even afraid of ruining it, so I took photos at every stage to have backups in case I messed up somehow. Levi and Sasha are my favorite characters. What about you? For the final page, I asked on Instagram for suggestions on what to draw, and someone suggested making a collage of the best moments. Then I thought, finishing this sketchbook is a nice memory and the closing of a long chapter. So initially I wanted to draw myself in the act of sketching on the last page. But then I had another idea. I could draw myself as an athlete completing a marathon, which is a great metaphor considering I started this sketchbook 2 years ago. And that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like, and if you watch until the end, comment the end. and I will see you here next week with another video. Bye!